What is up, everybody? Shauna D Man here, and welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are doing great. Hope you guys are having yourselves a great week. We are back with the first official review for Daredevil Born Again, episode 1. Just finished watching it a couple of minutes ago. Wanted to do a quick little drop for episode 1. I'll have episode 2 up later tomorrow, but I wanted to get my review for episode 1 out tonight, or at least depending on when you're watching this. So we are back, and honestly, this first episode was pretty good. Was pretty good. I remember seeing somebody on Twitter talk about how they've already seen the first. They've seen all 9 episodes of season 1, and for the most part, it was actually relatively good. There are some blank characters. There are some things in there that aren't really going to make sense. Primarily because this was originally supposed to be like an 18 episode series when it was originally pitched. Well, obviously that changed, got cut down to 9, and so there are some characters and some things that probably won't make sense or won't go anywhere because they did a lot of reshoots to fix up their 9 episodes. So at least from my understanding, the first couple episodes, they're going to be kind of like stuff that they had at the beginning with the original 18 episodes when they had the idea. But overall, first episode, really, really enjoyed it. Obviously, one of the things that people have talked about, people kind of speculated, was the whole thing, because Charlie Cox talked about it, where he doesn't know if he agreed with it. It's a pretty bold take. We wanted to come out swinging, and obviously a lot of things. It's not really a theory. It's not really a spoiler. It's not really a shock because a lot of people kind of already anticipated this to happen, where Foggy gets killed. Well, obviously a lot of people are like, well, is it Foggy or is it Karen? Which one of those characters? They're more than likely going to be the ones, being killed, and it's Foggy, which I assume a lot of people kind of had already figured it would have been. I don't know how necessarily I feel about it. I did enjoy the Foggy character when the series was on Netflix. I just love the dynamic between him and Charlie Cox. It was interesting. It was very much interesting. The fight scene with Daredevil and Bullseye. I still don't like the Bullseye costume, and it's. I'm curious about it because the opening minutes of episode 1, obviously Bullseye shoots Foggy, but Foggy stashed a witness in his apartment, but Bullseye was just only using the witness to get the Foggy. So is it like, did Bullseye know Matt is Daredevil? I can't remember because it was like season 3. I don't remember if Bullseye knows that Matt's Daredevil, or I wonder if Bullseye was he just hired? Maybe not by Kingpin, but I could probably see Vanessa being somebody who hired Bullseye to take away something that Matt loved so much, as in Foggy. Kind of like how in season 3, towards the end, Matt talked about, making sure, Vanessa is, basically saying that he would do it in his power to keep both Vanessa and Wilson Fisk away from each other. So I'm curious if she was the one that hired Bullseye to do this, because obviously when we last saw Bullseye, he was getting patched back up after the ending of the season 3. It's we do get our first glimpse of White Tiger, albeit it's inside like a news TV station, and there's an interesting debate going on. Well, not necessarily debate at the moment, but the character Cherry and Detective Kim, because Cherry is, I guess he's a private investigator, but more of a police officer, if I had to say. I guess detective will probably be the proper way to put it. But he's retiring from the force, and he talks about like how the vigilantes get praised while the good cops or so get sued, that kind of thing. And he's talked about Daredevil and White Tiger. Now I'm curious to know like how long White Tiger has been around and active. Um, that's probably just something that we'll get later on in the series. But for the opening fight scene, yeah, it's brutal. And I was not expecting, which I probably should have. I wasn't expecting like Bullseye to just go popping off on everybody that he came across. Like there was a guy that was like, "Hey, we might want to call the police or something like that," and Bullseye kills him, and then he punches a woman. He throws like a cue ball at another woman, and I was just like, man, he is just what are we doing here? What's going on here? And so just the fight sequence in itself was really cool. Just watching how um it's all covered in smoke from the smoke grenade that Bullseye threw, and just watching Matt and Bullseye go at each other with the lights being off and kind of the bar being illuminated by like headlights, and it was really cool. I actually liked it. So throughout the series, obviously, so a year later, Matt has moved up in the world. I both him and Karen don't talk to each other. You can say it's this one of each other's fault, but it could be both their faults. So they haven't really talked to each other. Matt hasn't been there for a year or so, and a lot of people, we come to find out later, BB Urich, the daughter of Ben Urich. I was not expecting that, but I'm okay. I'm actually pleasantly okay with it. Obviously, we'll get more of her throughout the series as well, but she's talking to just random New Yorkers, talking about like how how things feel. How are things on the street level nowadays? And it's just Daredevil's been gone for a year. I feel like crime's been up. It feels like you can't go out with your family without being mugged, and it's just some people are having a rough time with it, and it is what it is. Some people, that one woman is like, she really kind of hopes Daredevil comes back. What's her name? Is it Kirsten? I think it's her name. She hooks Matt up with a psychiatrist. Off to a rocky start situation, but obviously, get together, go on a couple of dates, and so on and so forth. Then we get the Wilson Fisk stuff. Now, obviously, it is kind of piggybacking off of what happened in Echo, because he talked about, because Vanessa had been running. I guess she has been running things since. I don't know what the time lapse is between what happened to him in Echo and the start of Daredevil Born Again. Obviously, he was mentally broken, for put the best words to put it, and Vanessa had just been running things the entire time, and she's been relatively good at it. It seems like, but he comes back after talking about how he had to put himself together. Now he wants to run for mayor. Obviously, this is a big, grander scheme that he wants. I can't remember what the comic book is where he does this, where he runs for mayor and tries to ban all vigilantes or ban superheroes or something like that. Maybe somebody in the comment section can relay that information down in the comments, because I know I've heard it somewhere before, but I'm not entirely sure where I heard it before. Yeah, he looked skinny. He lost some weight, which I guess I'm fine with. But he's running for mayor, and sorry about that. And obviously, the election is it's basically rigged. So the outcome, you're like, it shouldn't be surprised. Like everything's, because Wilson is talking to Vanessa, and they're like, they talk about him running for mayor, and he has to make sure like he can't be caught doing anything illegal. It's kind of like how in the Penguin, when Oswald goes to Gotham City Hall, and he's talking about like he would like to be, welcome in a place like this with councilmen and councilwomen, judges, elected officials, and one of the guy he's talking to, who kind of like is going to get credit for taking down Sophia Falcone, that kind of thing. Um, he's like, if you do this, you got to be clean. You like they're cracking down on corruption. You've got to make sure that you are clean as a whistle, Oswald. And it's kind of like what I feel here is that it's like like he has to appear clean. Like there can't be anything illegal, otherwise it's gonna screw up the entire operation and plan that they have in place. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see how things go. He ends up winning. New Yorkers are, well, he's a monster. He brings up the worst in people, and then you got another street New Yorkers, kind of like, criminals, politicians. They're all the same thing. That same kind of rhetoric and things like that. And I just love the diner scene. Was Matt and Wilson's probably my favorite. I don't know. Is that my favorite? Or is the opening fight scene my favorite? I think I do enjoy the diner scene, because we did get a glimpse of that in the first trailer that dropped. Like you could probably tell that they both were just kind of like holding their darker sides in. And he asked, "Why did you stop being?" Wilson asked, "Why did you stop being a vigilante?" Says the line was crossed. See, when he said that in the trailer, it was under the impression that like he killed Bullseye, but he really didn't. I guess. I guess if we're gonna go with lines crossed, then it could possibly be like the life of Matt Murdock and the life of Daredevil merged into, and it caused this situation. I guess. To me, originally when I first heard it, I thought he killed somebody, because just the way. Because why else would you stop being Daredevil for a year unless you broke your code of not killing anybody? But it seems like they are doing things differently in regards to Matt's Catholicism, because that was a thing earlier when I talked about. There's a not TikToker, but a tweet that went out that's talking about like how the person I saw all 9 episodes, and he mentioned there's like a lack of the Catholicism, and a lot of people got up in arms about that and got really concerned, because that's part of Daredevil's character, that's part of who he is, and we got a lot of that in the first 3 seasons. But they may be doing it a little bit different compared to what they traditionally did in the Netflix series of it. So I am going to be curious to see on when it comes to the Catholicism of Daredevil, of Matt Murdock, of Daredevil, how is that going to be played out throughout this series? We also see, which I believe the villain Mimic. I don't know much about this character. We do see him towards the end of the episode after Wilson has won, kind of drawing images of Wilson. Now, this was mentioned earlier in the episode where they were talking about on the news that like these images have been popping up all over New York, and so curious to see about this particular character. What's he about? I'm trying to think if there's anything else within this first episode. It was pretty straightforward. Like it got me back involved with it as well. But yeah, overall, it was a good episode. Very bold take to kill Foggy to get you back into the series for sure. But I'm relatively okay with it. I'll probably, like, it is going to suck not having Foggy. I'm sure they'll probably do something like flashbacks and that kind of thing throughout season 1. They've already started filming, or no, they've actually started filming for season 2. So because Matthew Leonard has been cast in season 2, so they're already working on getting season 2 up and going for potentially like a 2027 release, if I had to assume. But yeah, first episode of Daredevil Born Again. Okay with it. Not really bad, really good. I just enjoyed just sitting back and watching Daredevil again. Like, it's been 7 years since season 3 came out. I just enjoyed it. So that's my quick little thoughts about episode 1. Like I said, I will have episode 2 out tomorrow. So definitely hit that like and subscribe button, comment below, tell me what you guys thought about the first episode of Daredevil Born Again. You can also check out my gaming channel as well, down in the link in below. We're going through a live stream of The Last of Us Part 1. Never played it before, so we've been playing that a little bit. So definitely go over there and check it out for more content. But guys, thank you for hanging out. Thank you for watching, and I will see y'all in the next video. Y'all have a good one.